Coraline is a cinematic masterpiece, and I am not listening to anyone who tries to dispute that. The fact still stands that it was made in 2009 and people are still talking about it. People are still theorizing about it. People are still making edits about it. Today I thought it would be fun if we went through some Coraline theories and, you know, just things that you could have missed. The first theory relates to Mr. Babinski.
Yay!
Essentially, Mr. Babinski is not blue because he's dead. It's not blue because he's cold, like a fan-made thing on Google says. It is because he was there to help clean up the Chernobyl disaster, you know, with all the radiation. And his skin is blue because of the radiation. Some people do think that he is dead. Personally, I don't think that he's dead, because if he was dead, he wouldn't be able to order anything because, well, the order wouldn't go through because he's dead, you know what I'm saying? We see him interacting with the other people. Like Coraline's mom herself says that he is just drunk. And
I did not call him crazy, Coraline. He's drunk.
if he was dead, she wouldn't have to say that. So many people have so many theories about this man. Some people think that the other mother is controlling him. I strongly disagree with that. There is literally a scene where he says to Coraline, the mice are telling you not to go through the little door.
Do not go through little door.
If the other mother was controlling him, there is no way in hell that she would get him to say that. And I guess some people could argue, well, if you tell someone not to do something, they're still going to do it, I guess. But I still think that the other mother would try to be eliminating everything, suggesting otherwise. This next one isn't really a theory, it's just merely a fact. You may have heard this before, you may have not, you may have put it together in your mind. In Miss Sphinx and Miss Forcible's house, they have Taffy. If you look at the dates, those dates correspond to the 3 missing children. I feel like that's really good planning for the movie, that there are so many of these little things that are just connected. And speaking of just how everything links together, there is this edit. Now this is the opening scene to the movie, Mr. Babinski dancing on the roof. If you look at the chimney, you can see that there is a very distinguished shape. Does that shape look familiar? Well, it should, because it is the shape of the other mother when she's in her spidery form making breakfast. This movie is so good at paying such close attention to detail that you wouldn't really know this unless you've watched it a lot of times or you're really paying attention on all the background things.
This is the skin of a kill.
So in this next theory, it's basically suggesting that there is a woman outside of the school shop and she's actually the other mother because of the same pose that she does. And in that scene, Coraline is saying, my other mother would get the gloves.
My other mother would get them.
But the thing is, the other mother doesn't even get the gloves. She just gets her some clothes.
I hope you like the new outfit.
In one of the ending scenes, her real mother gets the gloves. But the other mother never gets the gloves, so there's a loophole in this theory. This next theory I found says pretty much the same thing. Instead of it being the woman outside of the shop, it is the woman who is helping them shop. And I think people say this because she looks a little weird. I know I'm not the only one who saw her look in my direction as soon as I said she looked weird. We know that the beldam can shapeshift, but I still don't think that she left the little hole and went outside of it to follow Coraline and Coraline's mum to the shop. If she could leave the tunnel unprompted, wouldn't she just have already snatched Coraline away? Maybe saying like she just has eyes everywhere. I don't think that it's actually her though, because, you know, wouldn't she like snatch Coraline? Let me know what you think. Now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, the other mother does have many spies in the real world. So she does have the mice that she uses as spies. The mice, actually the rats. So it's very possible that the woman in the shop could be a spy. It is also important to note that these are movie theories. I have read the book. The book doesn't really need to be theorized. A really popular theory is that the real parents were in on this whole thing the entire time. I don't believe that. See, this is one thing. It's like the other mother has been transported because there is the trunk, and then in the other world, it's the bad bug or whatever. Now, what the beldam does is she mirrors their exact world. She gets her little mice spies, little rat spies. She's got eyes everywhere, yes? That is why that the trunk that they brought in is also the trunk inside the house. Because the whole point is that it's just basically a better version of your exact world. Imagine you find a little door, you go through it, and it's just a completely random house. It's going to be like, oh, okay, this is just another random house. If it is your exact house, down to the last detail, then you're actually going to believe that this is actually a better version. So I don't think that the other mother was transported in by the parents. I think that is just mirroring the other world. So as you can see in this video, Coraline tells her mom that there's a little door, and the mom goes rattling through the keys, and she finds the oldest, weirdest looking key to try. And does it work? Yes. A lot of people say, how did she know that it works? This obviously is testament to the fact that she knew. But do you see the look of confusion on her face when she lifts up the key? What I think happened is that it's an old house. It's a weird little door. She looked through the drawer and she found the oldest looking, weirdest looking door key. The other ones, as you can see, look like they could unlock gates, they could unlock windows, unlock doors. They look like they could do all that. But there's just one outlier key. Now this is true for anything. If you have a box full of Skittles, you are going to notice the giant Milky Way in the middle, and you're probably more inclined to pick that out because it's just different compared to the other ones. I don't think that the mother is in on it. I don't even think it's weird that she picked that key. I saw someone once comment that they probably didn't want to go through the whole process of them picking a couple keys and putting it in, because that would take a long time to, you know, make with the clay and then animate. Nice theory, but I just don't think very viable. This theory gets circulated quite a lot, and it's that Coraline's parents are dead. Now the reason for this is because when Coraline goes back through the little door and she's like, I'm home. As you can see, the groceries are disgusting. They're rotten. That means that they have been sitting out on that bench for a few days. This could mean that the timing is different. This could mean that her parents are actually dead. And then what they think is that because her parents are dead, she goes back through, and then with the trauma, she's just like, I can't do this anymore. This does not correlate with the book, but a lot of people do think that Coraline's parents died because of a couple rotten groceries. I think that the reason why the groceries are rotten is because the timing is different in the other world, potentially. I do have a question though. How did she snatch her parents?
I can't look.
This next theory is that Coraline's other mother then became her real parents, minus the buttons in her eyes. As you can see, the other world makes everything perfect. Now the mother in the real world, she's got a slightly crooked nose. The other mother's nose is pointed, yes. And then at the end, there is this particular shot where it's showing that the real mother's nose is not as curved. I do think that this could just be the angle, because a staple of the beldam is the fact that she does have buttons in her eyes, and she wants to sew buttons into the children's eyes. So it doesn't make sense that she could like get rid of the eyes. I actually had a theory about this myself. So the eyes are always the hardest to get. Have you ever seen a taxidermied animal? They never get the eyes right. The eyes always look weird. The eyes are the windows to the soul. The eyes are this. The eyes are very important. And so it makes sense for the beldam to have buttons in her eyes. She cannot replicate that clearly. I think this theory is reaching a little bit. The eyes, you know.
Call me Mr. Bombas.
People love to theorize that she never got out. I think that she did get out, but I think that is just because I read the book, and I don't know why the movie would stray so far against something that was just not in the book. In the book, she goes through, instead of it being an inviting little door, it's, you know, like this dark abyss, and then she gets out of there and she's like, oh, that was fun. It's very like not as this. A lot of people think that she did not escape because if you look in the garden, you see that it is her face, and in the other world, it is also her face. But at the start of the movie, you can sort of see the garden, and you can sort of see that it is part of her face anyway. And I also think that maybe the movie people just thought it would be a fun, cute, cool little detail to add, you know, like the garden looks like her face. Look how cool that is. Instead, I feel like people are just like jumping on that, like, no, she never got back. She never escaped. She's still trapped in there. The garden is proof. The garden could have been there for a long time, and this could be some sort of like twisted fate kind of thing. Like it was meant to be that Coraline went there and defeated the beldam and all the things like that. Another thing is you see at the end, the cat goes behind the like post thing. I think the reason why the cat went behind the post is because there are so many other worlds and other portals and other dimensions. I don't know. I do have a theory about the old well and the sky full of stars and all that. I do have a theory about that, which I think I might make in a different video. This is the cat going behind this thing suggests that there are so many other worlds that we don't know about, I think that's what it's trying to say. I could be wrong though, but I think that's what it's trying to say. I don't think it means that the other world is still up and running. Could be. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. I also just wanted to say thank you for all the love on the other video that I posted this week. That was an extremely vulnerable video for me to make, and while it does make me sad that so many people sort of felt the same way, I hope that I could have helped people not feel so alone. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for everything. Bye.